Hello students, welcome to the chapter Flow of Control. This is the part 1 of this particular chapter and today we are going to discuss about introduction to statements and its flow. So let's discuss about the concept of statement. Now what do we mean by a statement? See, while writing a Python program, we write various statements, various programming lines of code. Each line of code in the Python programming language is known as a statement. For example, if I write x equals to 5, y equals to 3 and then print y, then x equals to 5, y equals to 3 and then print x, all these three are known as statements. So what are statements? These are the instructions which we give to the computer for performing some operation. So the instructions given to the computer to perform any kind of action are known as statements. Statements are basically divided into three types. One is the empty statement, second is the simple statements, and finally we have the compound statement. Let's begin with the concept of empty statement. Now what is an empty statement? A statement that does nothing is called as an empty statement. So a statement which does not do anything is called as an empty statement. Now you might wonder that if the statement does not do anything, then why is this statement required at all? This statement is required because sometimes the syntax of the Python programming language demands that some statement must be there, but the logic of the program does not want that any statement should be there. So in that case, we will be using an empty statement. The empty statement in Python, it is referred to as pass, P-A-S-S. So whenever you want to write an empty statement, you will just write the word P-A-S-S, which is pass. Now whenever pass is encountered in a program, the program does nothing and moves to the next statement. So whenever Python will see that pass is there in the program, then the program will not do anything and it will simply move on to the next statement. The pass statement is useful in cases where the syntax of the language requires the presence of a statement but the logic does not. So if in certain situations, as per the syntax, if a statement is required, but as per the logic of your program, no statement is required, then in order to bypass the error, what you can do, you can simply write the empty statement which is pass. Okay. So for example, let's say I am developing a software for an ATM machine. So for that, let's say there are three functions. One is let's say balance inquiry. Second is let's say deposit. And third function is let's say withdraw. Now for the time being, I don't have information as to how to go about balance inquiry and deposit function, but I know how to write the withdraw function. So for the deposit and balance inquiry function, we can just define the function and leave it blank. Now for leaving it blank, what we can do in these two cases, we can use the empty statement pass in this case. Now let's try to see how to do it. So regarding functions, you will get in class 12. But for the time being, I'll just explain it in brief. So a function begins with the keyword def. After def, we'll write the name of the functions. Let's say the name of the first function is balance inquiry. We don't have any information regarding this function. So in the next line, what we'll write, we'll just give the word pass. Next function is, let's say, withdraw. Okay. And let's say we have some information regarding the function withdraw. Let's say the balance at the beginning was, let's say, 50,000, and out of that, let's say 500 has been taken out, and after that, let's say the current balance will be the total, the available balance currently minus the withdrawal, and let's say we'll just print it out, print current. This is how we can write a function. After that, let's say we'll write the third function, which is the deposit function, and let's say we don't have any idea as to how to proceed about this function at the moment. So what we can do, we can simply write pass in the next line. And now let's say we'll call the function withdraw and then simply run it. You will find that I'm getting the answer as 49,500. Now how it is running? So as Python encounters def, it will just simply skip to the next function, which is def withdraw. Then it will simply skip to the next function, which is line number 8, and then it will skip to the main program, which is line number 10. In line number 10, we have called the function. This is called known as function calling. Everything you will get in class 12. No need to worry about that. And as we call a function, the control will go over here and it will implement this logic. Now, if I do not give the pass here, then what is Python expecting? Python is expecting that I'll give the logic for balance inquiry function. So if I just run it, I'll get an error here. So in those cases, when you are not sure of the logic currently, you can just write pass, or if the syntax demands a statement but the logic of the program does not demand any statement, in those cases also what you can do, you can simply write the word pass. That's about the empty statement. Let's go to the next type of statement, which is the simple statement. What is a simple statement? A single statement in Python is called as a simple statement. If we have just one statement in Python, it is known as a simple statement. Now if I write print hello, this is called as a simple statement. If let's say we write 3 lines, x equals to 3, print hello, and y equals to 5, then we have how many simple statements? Then we have 3 simple statements. Each statement is known as a single simple statement. So what will be the output that we'll get? We'll get the output as hello here. Next type of statement is the compound statement. What is a compound statement? Now a compound statement means a group of statement which is written within a block. Now a group of statements in Python executed as a unit is called as a compound statement. A compound statement in Python, it has a header which ends in a colon and the body containing a sequence of statements at the same indentation level. So here in case of a compound statement, we'll have a header which is known as the compound statement header. Now within that header, whatever statements we'll be writing, all these statements as a combination, these are known as what? These are known as compound statement. For example, if I write if a greater than 5, and in the next lines if we write print high and print value of a is more than 5, high and value of a is more than 5, these two statements are known as compound statements. Why these are known as compound statements? Because these are a block of statements. How can we know that these are blocks of statements? Because after the statement heading, that is if a greater than 5, we are giving a colon over there. Okay, how if statement works, that we'll see in the next part. Now let's go to the statement flow control. Statement flow control means the manner in which the statements in Python are executed. It is known as statement flow control. So the manner in which statements in Python are executed is known as statement flow control. Now after which line, what will be the next line to run? And after that line, what will be the next following line to run? It is denoted by the statement flow control. There are basically 3 types of flow control in the Python programming language. The first type of flow control is the sequence flow control, which is followed by the selective flow control, and thirdly we have the iterative flow control. Let's begin with the sequence flow control. Now till now, whatever programs we wrote in class 11 in Python programming language, we did not skip any line in between. All the lines were executed line by line or one after another. Now if the program runs in that manner, one after another without skipping any line in between, it is known as sequence flow control. Now, so if the statements in Python are executed one after another, that is line by line, then the flow of statements is known as sequence flow control. In this type of flow control, all the lines are executed without skipping any line in between. So in case of sequence flow control, you will find that no line is skipped in between. All the lines are being executed. So let's try to understand with the help of this diagram. Statement 1 will be executed, then statement 2, then statement 3, and then all the statements one after another. For example, here we have 3 lines. Hi, this is sequence flow control, and print the end. Here you can see that at first the first line will be executed, then the second line will be executed, and then the third line will be executed. So if we run this program, what we'll get? We'll get all the 3 lines in the output screen. So remember, in case of sequence flow control, all the lines are executed one after another. Let's try to give another example of sequence flow control. Let's say I'll just write a simple program to add 2 numbers. Let's give x equals to 5, y equals to 3. Let's write z equals to x plus y, and then print sum comma z. I'll just run this program and I find that the answer is sum 8. Now at first the first line has been executed, then the second, then the third, and then the fourth line. It is known as sequence flow control because the lines are executed one after another serially. Next, let us go to the next type of flow control, which is the selective flow control. Now in this case, a statement or a group of statement is executed based on a condition. Now this is such type of flow control mechanism where all the lines are not executed. Only certain specific lines are executed. So which lines will be executed? It will be dependent upon a particular condition. If the condition is fulfilled, a group of statements will be executed. If the condition is not fulfilled, a different group of statement may be executed, or that particular block may also be ignored. So if a condition evaluates to true, a course of action is followed, otherwise a different course of action is followed. For example, let's say we have a condition. The condition may be true. If the condition is true, a group of statements are executed, and if the condition is false, then what happens? A different group of statement is being executed. This is known as selective flow control. Here what will happen? All the lines of code will not be executed. Only certain specific lines of code or line of code will be executed, and it will be dependent upon a condition. Okay. So for this, for understanding this, let us take a program, a simple program which checks whether a person is eligible to vote or not. So if I write x equals to 17, if x greater than equals to 18, what it will check? It will check whether the value at x, which is 17, greater than 18 or not. Is 17 greater than 18? Is 17 equals to 18? No, it is not. Therefore, whatever is written within that block, that is line number 3, will be ignored, and the control will go to the else part. Within else, what is there? Not eligible to vote. So what you will get in the output screen? In the output screen, you will get not eligible to vote. Now here you can see x greater than equals to 18. What is this called? This is known as the condition, and will get the output as not eligible to vote. Here you have seen that all the lines of the program are not executed. Only certain selected parts are executed. Therefore, it is known as selective flow control. Let's try to quickly implement this particular program. So if I just write here x equals to 17, and if x greater than equals to 18, let's display a message like eligible to vote. We could have made it more user friendly, but now my intention is to just teach you selective flow control. So therefore I have just explained it in brief. Regarding the syntax of if and else, all this will be learning in the next part, in the next session. So here we'll be writing not eligible to vote. So now if I just run this program, we'll find that the answer is not eligible to vote. Why? Because this condition is not fulfilled. So we can see that all the lines are not executed, only certain specific parts are executed. Therefore, these type of statements are known as selective statements, and the flow control mechanism is known as selective flow control. Let's go to the last type of flow control mechanism, which is the iterative flow control. Now, what is the meaning of the word iteration? Iteration means repetition. So in Python programming language, sometimes some situation occurs where same type of things is repeated, should be repeated again and again. So if such type of situation occurs, then what we will do, we'll take the help of iterative flow control in order to minimize the task upon the programmer and also to minimize the lines of code from the Python code. So in this case, a statement or a group of statements are repeated depending upon a condition. So the statements are repeated until the condition evaluates to true. So till the condition will evaluate to true, the statement within a particular block are being repeated, and once the condition evaluates to false, then the statements within that particular iterative block will be ignored. So the statements under iterative flow, these are also known as what? These are also known as looping statement. So what will be there? There will be a condition. If the condition is true, a block of code or a group of statements will be executed, and after that particular group of statements execution is completed, then again the control will come back and check the condition again to see if the condition is true now also or what. If the true condition is true even now, then this block of statements, that is statement 1, statement 2, statement up to statement n, will get executed again and again. Generally, a time comes when the condition evaluates to false. Now, when the condition evaluates to false, then what happens? That loop is exited, and then once the loop is exited, that particular iteration or that particular flow control will not be executed. Okay, so let's try to understand it with the help of a code. Let's say you are asked to print your name 5 times. So ideally, by the concept, you know what you will do. You will just write print statement. How many times? You will write print statement 5 times. But is the program efficient? No, the program is not efficient because we are doing similar type of tasks again and again. So in those situations where you tend to do similar type of tasks again and again, so in those situations we'll use the concept of iteration. So yeah, this is from the concept we know till now. If someone asks you to print your name 5 times, you will do in this manner. If I just run it, you will see that I'm getting the name Alice how many times? 5 times, because I've given print statement of the same command 5 times. Now it can be done with the help of an iteration in just 2 lines. Let's see how it can be done. Now this is just a brief discussion on iterative flow control. Regarding the detailed discussion, I'll be discussing in this chapter only, but in the subsequent parts. So let's write a code for I in range 0, 5. I'll be explaining it to you properly in the next part, in the upcoming part. So here let's write Alice and let's run it. So you will find that just with 2 lines I am able to display the output. How many times? I am able to display the output 5 times. Now let's try to understand how this code executes briefly. So what was the code we wrote? We wrote for I in range 0, 5, and sorry, let me write 5 properly. Here I'll write print Alice. Now this range, the range function will take the range from the lower limit to the upper limit. 0 is called as the lower limit and 5 is called as the upper limit. Now the range will be from lower limit to upper limit minus 1. That means what will be the possible values in this set? 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Why 4? Because the range is from lower limit to upper limit minus 1. Okay. Now at first I will take the value of 0 and it will come inside the loop. What is written inside the loop? Print Alice. So let's assume this is the output screen. So what will come in the output screen? alias will come in the output screen. Now this loop is completed. Now again it will go and check the condition. So now I will take the value of 1 and then it will again come inside the loop. What is written there? Alias. So again alias will be coming, then again condition will be checked. Now 2. So whatever is written within the loop will be executed, that is alias. Then 3 will be taken. So again alias, then 4 will be taken, then again alias. Now at the end also it will again go and check the condition. Now you see that all the values are used up. So the loop cannot run now. So now what will happen? The control will come to the line which is following the loop. That means here if I write something like print high, high will be displayed after displaying the name 5 times, because after displaying the name 5 times this condition will become false, and then whatever is there after the loop, if something is there, it will be displayed. Okay, so if I just write here, whatever I write within the same indentation level, if I write here print, let's say print A here after alias, then as I run it, I am getting alias A, alias A, alias A, alias A and alias A, because it is in the same indentation level. But if I just break the indentation and write it from here, then it is a part of the main program. Now you will see the difference in output. Now what will happen? Once the condition becomes false, only then this particular line will be displayed here. This is known as the iterative flow control. Why iterative? Because similar type of tasks are being done again and again. Okay, that's all about the day. I hope you have understood everything. Thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next part.